Hi all, welcome to the next edition of Amnic Cast. Today we have Vishwanath Kolki live with us over here, and I have known him for quite some time. And what I noticed was passion for cloud, and been working with him on some of the optimizations and talking to him in terms of how he does it. So it will be a very interesting one. But before that, I want to just put a disclaimer again, like whatever we talk are our personal stuff, and it's based on our experience and nothing dedicated to the companies that work for. Right. Welcome, Vishwanath.
Hi, hi Sathya. Uh,
Why
yeah,
don't
sure.
you give a brief background about like how did you come into cloud technologies and what are and your background in terms of being where you are, right?
Yeah, sure. So I started my BTech in Gadag, which is in Karnataka. So after completion, I went to VIT University, Chennai. It's a well-known institute of technology. I did my MTech in cloud computing. So I there were two streams when I was choosing MTech. So it was a big data and cloud. So I thought cloud will be more interesting because it's onto our servers, and there that time AWS, GCP were coming, and it was a bit interesting. So then after choosing the stream, I completed my MTech and I got the first job in Mumbai. So it was on DevOps role. So it was a focus analytics company. So it was a geolocation based organization, and after 6 months, I quit the organization and I joined Ninja Cloud Solutions, which is a service-based company for cloud providers. And after 1.5 years, I switched to Just Money. Just Money is a fintech organization for BNPL, and I worked there for 1.5 years. Then I got an opportunity to join the Open, which is a connected banking platform for payments, receiving payments, reconciliation of the transactions, where we can integrate Zoho books and tally for the reconciliation of the transactions. So yeah, currently I'm working with Open from 5 years, and total years of experience is 9.
Awesome. And I think one of the things that fascinates me is like when some of these optimizations that you guys do, right? It's like very fast. A lot of times, what I have seen is like companies, especially on fintech and all those things, they take a lot of time to see what do we do, how do we do, and all those things. So I just want to understand your tech stack. What goes behind the scenes in terms of how do you achieve some of the things that you guys are doing? If you can let us know your provisioning stack and what some of the technologies and how you it enables you to actually get to where you are.
Yeah, sure. So we first thing we should know in and out of the application. So how the application behaves and how it works. Before that, we have to learn how the application will start and how it will exit. So on that basis, we can optimize the environment quicker. So we use Terraform for provisioning of the infrastructure, Ansible in some places for environment file changes, and also we use secret managers for secrets storage. So we know where the application and how it behaves. So for that, that is the main thing which helps us in quicker optimization of the platform. So yeah, so
And you're heavily on Kubernetes as well in terms of your stack, right?
yes, we are 85 to 90% on Kubernetes and rest on the VMs. So when we are in a Kubernetes, it's very easy to switch to any platform, any code, any cloud, and also it's like a cloud native platform when we are on Kubernetes.
And is it so some of the optimizations that you guys do, right? How does these things, right? You have Kubernetes, you have like Terraforms, Ansible scripts, right? Like let's say you want to touch something in production, right? And what are some of the things that you take care, right? You said that, oh, we know the applications in and out, right? And what are some of the things that you take care that enables you to do it in a faster time? And how do you mitigate all these risks that could go on in the production?
Okay. So while setting up a infrastructure, we have divided into our node groups into Kubernetes. So which helps us to optimization of the platform. So what we do is we divide in a node group for front end, back end, and some other microservices and all. So when we do that. When we are going to start a optimization or we want to change something, only to that particular node group we can just apply the Terraform scripts. Only that platform will be affected if anything happens. So before that, we will be testing it onto multiple environments like UAT, pre-prod, lower environments, whichever are available. So on that, rigorous testing will be going on. QA team will be giving us a sign off. So those all also come into a picture for before going to a solution.
And I'm sure fintech being like you'll have a lot of databases and all those things, right? How do you take care of some of the optimizations and changes that happens with that one?
Okay. So for when we want to change something onto a database, so we go through a lower environments. So quicker and fast regression testing will be run, automation testing. Then after that, we do a PT onto that performance testing onto that environment after the changes. So we observe that for a period of time. We have monitoring tools for application monitoring and log monitoring. On that basis, we will be getting is it working fine or not. So using that parameters, we then move into a production. Uh, we get a confidence that when we move one lower environment to a production, we get a confidence that it is working fine. So we take some more time onto one lower environment and test all the APIs of the banks and keep going on.
And one of the other things that I want to touch upon is like we work with so many companies, right? And again, there is a DevOps team, there is a dev team, there is testing team, right? And there is also needs to be synergy. For example, you can go and tell, hey, we want to do this, but you need the team also to tell, yes, dev is working and we have tested everything, right? How do you guys achieve that in a faster pace, right?
When we are going to make any change, we get engineering managers from dev and from QA and architect from our team. So we sit together, we plan the phases. After planning, so dev team will be with collaborating with both DevOps and QA. So whenever we make a changes onto any lower environment, then when QA starts testing, if any issues are there, so we'll face those issues in that environment itself. So if there are no issues and any other things, then we proceed for further on that. Dev team mostly when we are changing into infra side, mostly dev team will not have more changes on their side. First QA comes, then it goes to a dev.
Got it. Got it. And all these things you do it in a quick fashion to make sure the lower environment gets tested.
Yes.
And then it moves into production. Yeah. Can you go deeper into some of the optimization recently you did, and what made you do that one, and what was some of the impact that you could see?
Yeah. So we subscribe for when we subscribe for Amnic, then we got a cost observation metric, observability metrics. Then we saw multiple recommendations on our platform. So to save the cost or optimize the cost. So when we saw that, we started first with the lower environment. So in the lower environment, we moved from, there were multiple instances where we can move from AMD Intel processor to AMD processors. So we started with that because computer cost was higher compared to AMD processor. So then we started. It is just a Terraform script where we have to change the AMD processors because Intel and AMD processor are compatible to each other, so applications will not have much effect. So then we changed the all the computer instances to AMD processor. Then there was a DB part. So DB we can move into AMD processor directly, but we tried with the Graviton direct, changing the instance type to Graviton. So Graviton has a very high performance compared to AMD and Intel. So we saw that on the UAT. So after upgrading to a UAT environment, thorough testing was done with the help of QA. QA is a very quick in our organization, so they do regression testing. So after that, we did it in a week or 2 weeks time on the UAT. Then we got a confidence that we can move to pre-prod. Then we started the process on the pre-prod. Then same thing, we changed all the DBs to Graviton, and we saw day-to-day basis we were seeing into a Amnic dashboard where cost optimization was happening and recommendation which was showing it is coming down. And also the main part was GP2 to GP3 EBS volumes. So that also saved us a lot of cost on that. Then we took it to production. Now we are everything on the AMD processor and Graviton on the database side.
Just to add some of these things, I think when he was doing all these optimization, our tool has to really catch up to the speed at which they were doing. And but actually, we learned quite a bit working with you guys in terms of how do you make it more real time than where we were, because a lot of companies take several days or weeks to achieve some of these things.
Yeah.
But some of the ways that you guys did just like stunned us, because the tool takes 2 days because of the way it is set up and all those things. But you guys were debugging real time in terms of it.
I used to reach Sathya every time. Can give the report for yesterday's optimization.
Yeah, I think we learned a lot. We tweaked it to get to as near real time as possible.
Yeah.
But yeah, still it depends on like lag it has. But I think it's been a good set of that optimization work that you guys did, right? Talk about some of the Kubernetes related stuff that you were able to achieve, right? You said 85% is on Kubernetes. What are some of the areas in which you focus on to optimize that?
So main the problem which we got, the problem statement was of changing the images from AMD to Graviton. So we have started moving it to Graviton also. So Graviton, moving the computations from AMD to Graviton will save lot of cost. So we have started in the lower environments, migrating from all the Docker files and images. We have to migrate it to ARM processor. So some of the applications were not working for us. So some of the applications are dependent on AMD processors. So we have to reach to dev team for changing the packages, and we got those changed. Still, some applications were inevitable to change. So then what we did is we created a separate node group for that application and moved those the dependent processors which are on AMD to a different node group, and other applications to a different into a ARM-based node group.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, so that was a big challenge for us because there are a lot of applications for in our environment. We have to change each and every environment and reach to dev team every time to change the Docker files.
And some of the things, especially when you go to Graviton, right, that also requires you, especially to ARM processor, right? Are there any challenges that you face to get to Graviton? Like dev team had to do quite a few things to get there?
Yeah, so some of the Java packages and Node.js packages, those does not support ARM processor. So we had to reach to dev team and ask them to search for the ARM processor packages and change the Docker files. Then every time whenever we build, some or the other issues used to come for the packages side. Then after a rigorous testing onto a Docker file, then we got the perfect Docker file. Then we started moving it to.
Got it. And then again you tested in the dev, and then you're
Yeah.
able to move into the production.
Yeah.
Awesome. How was the performance of it? Like, did you see any
Yeah, we have
changes?
seen performance is higher in the Graviton
Oh.
instances compared to AMD.
Oh,
Yeah.
and it's able to give much better performance, and then
Yes. Before moving to this, also what we have to keep in mind is performance should not be affected.
Correct. Yeah.
Due to
That's
cost,
why I was asking.
during
Because,
the cost optimization time. So we have to look into performance side also. We cannot just reduce the cost and which should affect the performance. So that also we have taken care in the pre-prod phase. QA, if any issues, QA used to inform us, and we have monitored. Like we have a NOC team for 24/7 which monitors the cloud infrastructure. So with their help, we got all the metrics which we needed.
nice, nice. So you moved from one Intel to AMD, now in Graviton.
Yeah.
That's an amazing journey in like a few months in terms of all these things. Right?
Yeah.
Any other thing that you want to touch upon? Any challenges that you have faced, not just on optimization, but in terms of other cloud-related stuff that you have done in the recent past?
Yeah. So main thing was like Graviton related stuff only, mostly. So other than that, we had in place everything like Terraform scripts and Ansible scripts for configuration changes. Most of the thing. Then we thought of using a carpenter in our environment for using a spot. Yeah, and there was a recommendation. There were multiple recommendations from the Amnic also. So like moving it to RI savings plan. When we wanted to move it to a RI for databases, there was also a big challenge. So we are growing as an organization. So if we reserve an instance for a particular instance type, then again, if it increases next year, so we have to plan accordingly about the traffic which we are getting onto a system. So we reserve the instance, most of the production instances. Then we opted out for a savings plan on compute. So this all helped us for saving and optimizing the cost.
Awesome, man. Amazing. Anything else you want to share with the audience in terms of something that we have not touched upon?
Uh, like AWS and Amnic both gives good recommendations on how we can save and all. But compared to it, like AWS gives as an overview in the reservations platform what we can reserve and all. So when we go into Amnic's recommendations platform, then we will see what all can be saved and how we can improve the optimization of the cost, and it shows the anomaly. Now after cost optimization, we cannot just keep our environment running. We have to observe the anomalies which are coming into the system, like where the cost is increasing, where we can reduce the cost. So mostly the traffic, it depends on the traffic which we are receiving, scaling and everything. Yeah, so Amnic has helped us a lot on that cost optimization.
Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot for that. And we have learned quite a few things from you also in terms of how fast we need to catch up to make sure that you guys can do your optimization. Thanks for being here, Vishwanath.
Yeah.
Nice having you.
Yeah,
Thank you.